Welcome back to Now That's a Good Question. We are going to work through Activity 3. Here's what, so what, now what, and give one, get one. Your facilitator should be handing you out a packet that is titled Activity 3, Analyzing Classroom Norms Related to TTQQ, Thinking Through Quality Questioning. Here's what, so what, and give one, get one. Facilitator, you can pause the video here as you hand out this packet. Please have participants listen as I read aloud the instructions. Here's what, so what pair conversation. With your elbow partner, you will first read through the 3 sets of norms below. After reading each set, think together about what this set of norms might look like in a classroom and about the possible impact on student thinking and learning. Record one so what for each set of norms. If you'll go ahead and pause the video here, allow participants about 5 minutes to record one so what in each one of the categories, purposes of questioning, think times, and participation. Then you will continue on to part 2. Go ahead and pause now. Part 2 of Activity 3 is Give One, Get One. When you are directed by your facilitator, you will stand up, taking this activity, Activity 3, something to write with, a pen or pencil, and perhaps a book to bear down on when writing. Find someone not at your table and exchange one so what idea from any of the 3 categories. When you have recorded this colleague's idea, and she yours or he, in the template, move to find another partner. Complete another exchange. Connect with as many different individuals as possible, included during the allocated time. When directed by your facilitator, return to your table and consolidate your findings with your table partner. Facilitator, if you will provide your participants about 10 minutes to complete this activity, go ahead and pause now and then restart the video, and I will go over Activity 3. Activity 3. Now what? Individual reflection. When instructed by facilitators, take time for silent individual reflection. This is to focus you on the now what will you do with this information. You may think about the now what category by category or as in a group of 3. This is up to your facilitator. You may also wish to jot down any questions you have related to any of the norms in the appropriate box on the template. Facilitator, please pause the video here and give your participants about 10 minutes to move through this piece of activity. If they finish early, that's okay. Just restart the video when you feel everyone is ready to move on. So we need to know the purpose when we're asking questions in the classroom. What is it that you would like your students to tell you from the questions? Quality questions create a quality life. Successful people ask better questions, and as a result, they get better answers. Teaching our students to ask better questions will help them ultimately be more successful in their classes and beyond the classroom. These are 2 different types of questions that we typically ask in the science classroom and other disciplines. Closed questions, this implies that the teacher has a predetermined response. This would be right or wrong answers, recall facts, and tend to be simple comprehension. Open-ended questions allow for a range of responses, creative thinking, encourage students to think beyond the literal answers, and help teachers to assess student understanding of content. It's extremely important to give them time. As you're asking students questions, you want to give them a 3-second minimum. Instruct the student to take a thinking moment before you either open the floor for other answers or better yet, to choose a student to respond. Write the question on the board while students are thinking for visual learners. This provides students with a correct amount of time to reflect and rehearse what they're going to say, and also to process how are they going to answer. When 3 or more seconds of wait time is given, you will find that the length and correctness of student responses increases. That your numbers of I don't knows and or no answer at all decreases. The number of volunteers will also increase. When 3 seconds or more seconds of time of wait is given, we also know that the teacher questions are more varied and flexible. The quantity of questions decreases, and the quality of the questions the teacher is asking actually increases. Teachers ask add-on questions requiring higher level thinking and processing. And this is all attributed to giving just a little more time to answer a question. It's especially helpful for tactile and kinesthetic learners to include this wait time. It's not specifically the writing that helps the learning. The writing is an active rather than passive task. Writing involves more of the whole body in the process of thinking, and writing clarifies perspectives. Here's some evidence that we want to provide you when it comes to talk time. Many times we ask our students not to talk, to just listen to us and listen to our questions. But we know that it's important to give students the time to collaborate when it comes to the information that we want them to understand in science. We know that if you have to talk, you have to think. The importance of dialogue talk basically boils down to that we know that by age 4, the child of professional parents in the U.S. will have had nearly twice as many words addressed to them as the working class child, and over 4 times as many as children that are on welfare. This is all due to dialogue with their parents, being able to talk. For the middle class child, encouragement from parents vastly outweighs discouragement. But for the child on welfare, the climate of adult reaction is an overwhelmingly discouraging one. While talk is essential for intellectual and social development, for some children, the talk which they engage in at school is nothing less than a lifetime. So it's important that we require participation. And reflecting on what that might look like in your classroom is important. You need to have a no opt-out norm. This is a sequence that begins with a student unable to answer a question and should end with the student answering that question. How you can support that is providing the teacher provides the answer and the student repeats the answer. Another student provides the answer and the initial student repeats the answer. You provide a cue and the student uses it to find the answer, or another student provides the cue and the initial student uses it to find the answer. My recommendation is that you find those cues and use other students in your classroom to help with the no opt-out norm. Right is right. Many teachers respond to almost correct answers by rounding up. They affirm and repeat the answer, adding the details to make it more fully correct. Most students stop processing when they hear the word right. So what does this communicate about the standard of correctness in your classroom? Who's doing the cognitive work? You or your students? Your facilitator should pause the video here and allow for whole group discussion for about 5 minutes. Then continue. We want to stretch our students' understanding. A sequence of questioning that doesn't end with the right answer can do this. Right answers are rewarded with follow-up questions versus a "you're right" or "you need to try again." And that will extend the knowledge and test for reliability. Ask how or why, or Ask for evidence. Ask for a better word. Guide them to the vocabulary that they should be using. Perfect example. If they say something is sticking to the wall, a metal wall, encourage them to use the word attracted. Ask students to integrate a related skill. Look at your process skills. Have them justify what they're saying. And have them apply that same skill in a new setting. We're going to talk about the components of quality questioning here. Framing quality questions really begins with planning. It is very difficult to plan rigorous questions on your feet. We highly recommend that you take a time out while working through your unit lesson plans and decide what questions you're going to be asking. Writing those questions down and having them, say, on a note card or a sticky note or even on the board somewhere will help you to focus on content and cognitive learning. This will engage students in thinking and connect students to prior knowledge or experiences. These are quality questions. And also providing formative feedback. Do you need to review anything, or can you move on with content with current understanding of the information? It's also important to strengthen thinking to learn behaviors. Strategies for developing student thinking include teacher modeling through think-alouds or reciprocal teaching. Wait time, giving them that 3 to 5 seconds. Asking probing questions to get behind students' thinking, the how or the why that we were talking about a minute ago. Sequencing to follow up questions to direct and support student thinking and answering, not necessarily giving the answers. And also helping students to provide skills and expectations of self and peer assessment of answers. It's important to have a focus on your content. Make sure that you have aligned your learning goals and that they're rigorous. You're going to promote identified content standards and that they are related to identified student learning targets. Address student needs, interests, and experiences. This provides relevance to your content. Look within students' zone of proximal development and related to real-world experiences. What's in your area that will help them relate the information? And connect other concepts and subject areas. Don't forget about the relationships to those other disciplines. At this time, if the facilitator will go ahead and pause the video and have a time of discussion of the things that were talked about in Activity 3. The next video will be on Activity 4 and can be found on the online resource. Thanks, and I look forward to continuing to work with you.